Hey gang, I hope you're having a great start to your week. I wanted to just make a quick video for you and warn you about some MURAL madness that I had last week with some permissions issues with the sharing of links with guests and stuff like that. And I want to make sure I bring it to your attention in case you run into the same thing. To be clear, this has only happened on my training account, my Brand Sprint Academy MURAL account. This isn't happening on my professional services account. And I may not have even noticed this, except that I've got a friend who I've been sharing links with for the messaging sprint kit training that I'm working on, and it turned up the problem there. So I'm kind of glad that it happened that way, just so that I can let you know that this is a potential issue. I have contacted MURAL support. We've been back and forth since late last week, and I will absolutely report back once there is a fix or a reason or whatever. But I wanted to warn you first, just in case you're about to do a sprint, and you're going to share these links the way you're supposed to share these links, you may run into this same issue, okay? So first of all, let me just talk about how you share this link. You all probably know this, but just as a reminder, this is the inviting guests to a room or a MURAL support page on MURAL's website in their support section. We're not talking about inviting guests to a room. We're talking about inviting guests to a MURAL. Now, this is how I learnt to invite guests to a MURAL when I first started using MURAL. This is how I taught you to invite guests to a MURAL in our training. This is the method to invite guests to a MURAL that is creating problems right now, and there is no other method, okay? So if this doesn't work for you, you will have no way to invite guests to your MURAL. I do have a short-term fix for you, and again, I will report back when I get the actual fix from MURAL. I just wanted to get this to you immediately, just in case you've got a sprint booked this week. I don't want this tripping you up. So coming back over here to our MURAL, this is what that support document tells you to do. This is how I've taught you to do it. I'm just going to put in one of my personal emails here just to show you how this works. It's just a Gmail account, and then click send invite. So that's exactly the way I've shown you how to do it. It's exactly the way this support document tells you how to invite guests. So now if I go over here to my personal email, my Gmail, where that's just arrived, and I'm going to select to join the MURAL. So when I join this MURAL, it opens up and it asks me just like, so let me put this on the screen for a second. This is what happened when I clicked the link, okay? It's going to ask me to sign in the exact same way as the signing in for guests does. So I do that, and I click sign in. And then it wants me to add a password again, because this is exactly what your guest will have to go through when they do this. This is fine. And I sign in, and it adds me to the MURAL that link that I shared asked me to join. Okay, so I'll just accept all cookies. Down here you can see that's me. That's the new identity that I've just added in here. Now let me pull this out the way. This is back to my admin account now. Okay, if I go out of here and I go up to my workspace name up here, Brand Sprint Academy, and click on Workspace Members, I will find that that email I just invited has been added as a member instead of a guest. And being added as a member means they have the rights to create rooms, publish templates, and see all of the open rooms that we have. This is a problem for a number of reasons. First of all, you've only got 10 member seats. If you've got a 5-person team and you've invited 7 clients to your sprint, you've just blown more than the seats you have, and 2 members of your client's team will not be allowed to enter the room because your MURAL account is granting people member access instead of guest access. Let's talk about the fixes. So if this happens to you, first of all, the first thing I do is I turn off all their permissions. I don't want them, whilst I'm trying to fix this, doing things I don't want them doing, okay? So turn off all the permissions first. Then, deactivate the member. Now, unfortunately, so just click deactivate in that drop down and then click deactivate here. Unfortunately, the simple fix for this also doesn't work. So let me show you what the simple fix should be. We've got inactive member here, okay? So now your member seats are reduced by that number. You've got all your member seats back again. If I click on more actions, I can see reactivated as a guest. Well, that'd be nice and simple, wouldn't it? So I'll click that, I'll click continue, and I'll click continue again, transfer and reactivate, and you'll see you successfully converted 0 selected users to guests. Okay, cool. Maybe I needed before clicking that to select them, because it very clearly said you successfully converted 0 selected members. Okay, so I'll select it, and I lose the opportunity to click reactivate as guest. Okay, even if I go up here, it's grayed out. Convert to guest is grayed out. Okay, there are permission issues going on in Mural right now, which are a little bit of a nightmare. They caused me all sorts of problems last week. Again, fortunately, the guests that I was inviting were friends of mine, who I've been doing some work with, and they've been helping out on my end by helping me test all of these new processes with them. As I'm building the messaging sprint kit videos, they're letting me use their company as an example. So, how do we fix this? Well, first of all, we need to get rid of any inactive members because we can't convert them to guests. One way to do that is to delete them, and then you have to assign whatever they had to you. That's fine, but that's going to be a real problem, and it's going to make you look very unprofessional if you had your client team sign in. You've then had to go, oh, hang on, I've got to delete you and send you a new link. Ask me how I know. That's exactly what happened to me last week. So, again, fortunately not on my professional services account, and I'm very grateful for that I was doing this training for you at the time, and it allowed me to find this problem before it was a problem with a live client. So here's what you do instead. First of all, go and invite yourself using a personal email to one of your murals and see if you're admitted as a member. If you are, you've got the same permissions problem as what I'm seeing here in mine. One thing to remember, when you invite yourself using a different email, it has to come from a different email domain than your workspace admin domain. If you invite someone who shares your email domain, they will automatically be added as a member. That's how Mural defines members and guests. If you invite someone from your own company domain, then obviously Mural says, oh, they're on the same team. We'll assign this person a member access. What it's supposed to do is when you invite someone from a different email domain, it's supposed to give them guest access because they're not sharing the same domain, and therefore it says they must be guests, clients, right? That's not what's happening. So when you do test this, first thing you do, click share up here, put a personal email address that you've got or a different email address from a different email domain in here, create the link. So you just type it in, you press enter, and then you click send invites. Once you've done that, go to that other email address, accept the invite, and then come back here to your workspace name, click on the drop down and click workspace members, and then just check here. If you've been invited as a member, you will obviously see that, and you will know you have the same permissions issues before you try and do this live with a client. If you do have the permissions issues, well, first of all, if you don't, carry on. You can ignore the remainder of this video. Great. If you do have those permissions issues, and I suspect this is a bigger thing than just what I'm experiencing, the way you will now invite your clients is click the share button and create a visitor link. Click copy link, and because you're going to be in the first session of a sprint with your client when you invite them to Mural, you're going to do this exactly the same way you would have as if you had have shared the invite link. You're going to copy this link, you're going to put it into the Zoom chat window, and then all your clients will sign in from that. Let me show you what happens and why I don't like this as our option. This is our only option right now, to be clear. If you're experiencing these permissions issues, this is our only option. Let me show you what happens when I use that link. I'm invited to the client name messaging sprint, and it's asking me for a name and an email optionally. Okay, so your clients, I'll just put in my name. Your clients don't have to put in their email, which means they're not signing up for a Mural account, which means when you get to the next session and the session after that and the session after that, they're going to have to redo this. Rather than, if all of those sessions are within 14 days, they would just click on the shared Mural link and they would be signed in using the account that they set up as a guest, okay? That's not going to work if you have these member guest permissions issues that I'm experiencing. So if they don't put in an email, and why would you when it says optional? I think you'll be lucky to get them to put in a name. They click enter as a visitor, and you can see, I'll just accept cookie so I can see the bottom here, go away. This is how they're entered. So yes, they've got a name here if they've put it in, but most of them won't, or some of them won't. You can ask them to, but they certainly don't have a profile photo. Is that a big deal? Maybe not this session. Maybe not this session when they look at that and they remember, okay, I was the visiting shrimp, okay? I was the purple shrimp. But what happens next time when they sign in and Mural has no memory of who this person is? This is just a visitor signing in. Now they get assigned visiting crab or visiting fish or something like that. Different color, different icon. Obviously, the opportunity for confusion there over time is larger than we like. Again, this is our option right now. So, share, visitor link. If you're having the permissions issues that I've just detailed, this is our option, okay? So there is an option. Don't panic. You can still use your Mural account. Again, I've been in contact with Mural since late last week trying to work through this. They are working on it, and I will absolutely report back to you once they have a fix or once they can explain what's going on, give us a workaround, whatever. They've obviously pushed out an update and it's broken something with their permissions. That's fine. This happens with software as a service, right? It's not a big deal. It's even less of a big deal that we know that we do have a workaround. It's just not perfect, and I am a perfectionist. So I really want to get these people signed in as guests. There just, unfortunately, is no way to get a guest invite link that doesn't admit them as members right now, okay? I will report back once there is a way to do that, but until then, I wanted to let you know about this, just in case any of you have sprints coming up this week, and this happens to you, and you don't realize it's happened, right? Imagine you invited a 7-person team. There's a couple of people on there that are a little bit bored, and they start wanting to tool around in Mural. Well, if they've got all those permissions, they can. The other thing that happens is when you invite a member, Mural automatically creates their own room. Remember when you signed up for yours, you automatically had first name room? Well, now you have a bunch of first name rooms in your account where they can start storing stuff because they've got all these permissions, okay? That's no good. We don't want that. So first things first. If you've already invited people, check, make sure they haven't been invited as members. If they have been invited as members, at the very least, switch off all their permissions and then remove them as a member once you've finished your sprint. Second opportunity, if you haven't invited anyone, check to see if you've got the permissions problem. If you do have the permissions problem, invite people as visitors instead of using that invite link. If you don't have the permissions problem, yay, great for you. But I suspect this is probably bigger. I suspect this is the product of a pushing out of an update. I also expect that I will see this tomorrow when I need to use my professional services account with a client. I expect that I'll see the same thing. I'm going to go and test that actually now. I did test it before this video and it wasn't. I don't have the permissions issue there. 99% chance that by tomorrow I will have, because this is typically one of those pushed out an update and broke something things. Okay, so that's it. I just wanted to let you know about that problem. Make sure that you don't get tripped up by it, and make sure that you know the fix just in case that does happen. If you don't have a sprint booked this week, cool, you can probably ignore this until I report back on whatever the fix is, and fingers crossed there won't be an issue. If there is something that changes, then I'll go back in and I'll put a new video on how to invite people in each of our sprint trainings, so that you don't get tripped up when you go back and revisit any of these videos later on in the future. Okay, that's it from me. Hope you have a fantastic rest of the week. I will report back once I have a fix or at least an answer and let you know. Otherwise, keep doing what you're doing, and I will talk to you soon.